Some heroes in Flesh and Blood are straightforward. Vynnset is not one of them. She's part Runeblade, part puzzle, and part self-inflicted damage engine where there is no safe word, not even pineapple. But with Compendium and Rathe, the Iron Maiden picked up a new tool. And the big question is, do these tools make her a real contender in the meta, or just make her an already complicated even harder to play? Today we're breaking down what changed for Vynnset, Iron Maiden, where she fits in the meta, how you learn this hero without frying your brain. And all together, I know Andrew wanted to do this last week, which would have been so topical, but we're deciding to kind of pair off the hype that June L, is it L?
Yeah, Lex Tutis.
Lex Tutis did. So, yes, but so we got the Vynnset Master, the Vynnset Wannabe, and Ning, you're just good at everything.
I'm just here. Happy to be here.
Well, yeah, I'm Will.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ning.
So, but first, guys, what did we learn since last week?
That Will knows how to improv talking about safe words, apparently.
And I just realized that I wasn't even on the main screen. I was on the ban list, which is something we're about to talk about anyway, so this is kind of funny. Already off the rails, fellas.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess before we talk about the banned and unbanned list, we're going to just do this quickly. Timestamps down below. What did we learn since last week? Andrew, did you want to go first?
Sure. I played a lot of Vynnset, and my God, you remember when we did the Valentine's episode and I said Vynnset was my toxic ex?
You're right, yeah.
She still is.
That's good. So you're having fun with her then?
Oh, bro, it's so fun. It's so bad for
oh man,
my actual win rate.
So yeah, I guess we're going to jump into that later because now I'm curious, because I told you before the cast started that I have a plan. And I want to announce it. I want to hear your thoughts on my plan going into Memphis, right? But so what did you learn other than playing Vynnset and how she still tickles your feathers?
Oh, bro, I learned anything outside of playing Vynnset? I think I just spent way too much time playing Vynnset.
So Vynnset's still fun as hell.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
So
and Ning,
fun.
how about you? You're a little bit different here because were you able to play?
I was able to go to the armory last Sunday, and I played my boost puffin because that was the only deck that I had ready to go. And still as fun as ever. I put in our little Skywarden baby in the deck, and that was fun. Just gold stuff, and yeah. Other than that, we love boosting away our good cards. So.
Yep. Speaking of baby Skywardens, I got 2 Rainbow Fools for you, and I got some stuff from Andrew Lawrence himself. I believe you asked for the harpoon thing.
Harpoon. The cheating scoundrel.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's for if I step away from the boost deck.
Got you.
Make a pirate deck. Yeah.
That card's great at Pirate Puffin, man.
Man, so I'm still on KO. I figured the idea was to play KO for the PQ because I am not ready with my Rhinar. And I didn't do too hot in the armory. It was 1 and 2. Still going to go for it though. And I'm thinking after this PQ tomorrow, I'll switch over to play Vynnset, which is topical because yeah, why not? I was on Vynnset before KO for months, right? And it finally started clicking. I was like, okay. I went 3-0 in an armory. I was like, time to set it down, never play it again. And here I am, about to pick her back up. But
Will always wonders, hey, how come my records aren't very good? I think it's because once you hit 3-0, you don't, keep playing and keep practicing. You just let's try something new and let's start losing again.
There was a funny interaction with the armory on Tuesday. And so our resident brute player, Jorge, you've seen him on the Tough Nut cast. He's working on Tough Nut now. But so he saw me playing against Valda, and Tim was operating Valda. Now, me and Tim have a history of me never winning against Tim, right? And so I showed Jorge the cards I took out, and it hurt Jorge's brain so much, right? Because I had everything else in the deck, but none of my power cards. No Bear Fangs, no Wild Rides, anything that maybe draw and discard a card I took out, and it was just straight attack. I just wanted to see if I could handicap Valda's Seismic Surge creation. It didn't work out very well. There was one time... Go ahead, Andrew.
A wild ride, and suddenly the deck started sucking. No way.
Well, and then Jorge's like, "What's in your sideboard? Or what's in your arsenal?" I was like, "Oh, gravekeeping."
Oh my god.
So, but I honestly was going to play 1 round and leave because it's an odd number of players. But Tim would have still had that. Tim's a really good pilot on these kind of decks. So yeah, sure as hell I lost that game in a spectacular fashion. But I thought it was pretty good, right? It got me a lot of information. And what better way than practicing some numbnut plays during Armory? So that was a fun thing. All right. So that's what we learned. Let's segue into the news because it came out. It always comes out like right after we set our cast out. So the first one is what's on the screen right here, the ban list and unban list. Andrew, Ning, what's your thoughts on this stuff? I mean, these are some pretty powerful cards, man.
Yeah, so for our audio-only listeners, in the ban list we have Bracers of Belief, Lightning Press, A for Spindle, Steel Blade Shunt, Sirens of Safe Harbor, and Burn Up Shock. And then in the unbanned list we have Amulet of Ice, Rake the Embers, and Rootbound Carapace. And something of note too is that these are like all pitch stripe color bands too. Not actual color bands, just all colors.
Oh yeah. You can kind of see it down here where they actually match the colors up.
Yeah.
So Amulet Ice. Well, let's talk about the ban list first. So Bracers of Belief, Lightning Press. Those were to the big and Burn Up Shock. These were the three biggest culprits for the Briar decks, right? And I know Briar Season 3 is coming out. What do you think? Effectively cuts her out? She's no longer playable, or what?
I think she's like still playable. Like she's going to be significantly worse. Like I think like the biggest winner of this ban list that people are saying right now is KO. And yeah, because like
what are you talking about? He lost Sirens of Safe Harbor.
It is relevant. I actually do think his Kano matchup got slightly worse because of this.
But Kano also lost Aether Spindle. So
yeah, but Aether Spindle is like one of the worst cards in the KO because they just pitched a yellow card and then they Arcane Barrier. So they like Arcane Barrier 2 plus Spell Void free.
Yep. Okay. So Briar's brought down. KO's a winner. And Kano's a good pilot's still going to run all over your face and you still have to respect him. Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Now that being said, the Warriors though, they got shafted. Steelblade Shunt being removed from that deck means Enigma is just an auto loss now.
Yeah. Well, also, so I was playing multiple colors as Steelblade Shunt in the DGA list. And I say DGA, it's now a Dory DGA list, but does a Steelblade Shunt just automatically kill that deck now, or do you have to like find new tech?
I don't think the deck is dead, but it did like it went from being able to beat Enigma to like there literally just being no game whatsoever.
Yeah.
Losing Sirens too also sucked for that deck because that was a deck that will love Sirens.
Yep. Yeah. And Ning, you played a little bit of Briar when you were helping me test against my Sage decks. What do you think about this ban list yourself?
I mean, I think it's pretty potent for the most part. I mean, Burn Up Shock and then into another non-action, suddenly you have this big on-hit effect and go again to continue your chain. I think Lightning Press being banned obviously means you can't either sneak in, either Burn Up Shock or sneak in a Snatch, or just kind of having it sit in your arsenal, and then your opponent will be like, oh, is it a Lightning Press? Is it not a Lightning Press? So I think the gotcha element of Briar is now kind of taken away.
Yeah. So no longer you gonna swing with the Snatch that hits for 10, 11 on the end
at least if it does, it'll be face up, so you know it's coming.
Fair.
Until they Razor reflex it.
Yeah, well, hey, you can do
but
it.
that means that the Briar's paying for things. So.
All right. So Andrew, help me out with Amulet Ice and Rake the Embers. I know talking about Rake the Embers, you want to take a shot of something to get the bad taste out of your mouth, but they do it for Jeremy's sake.
I mean,
tell us how this impacts things. Lexi and Dromai, I'm assuming. So
Icelander 2 is a big one.
Okay.
Like, Amulet of Ice actually for Icelander is a huge deal because previously, if you wanted to beat Fatigue with Icelander, you would like play an Ice Eternal on your turn, Arsenal and Ice Eternal. Then on your opponent's turn, you would often play another huge Ice Eternal. And if your opponent just had like an instant in Arsenal, you would lose there. And this means you can just like take 2 cards from their hand and actually win for that. Like instant out of Arsenal.
Yeah.
Which that's a huge deal for Icelander. And then Lexi also, this could be a potential like anti-fatigue tool / anti-aggro tool, but I haven't done enough testing with a Lexi list. I would actually enjoy playing Amulet of Ice to say that too much.
I know. Next time Evan's on, we'll have to get him to explain how happy he is with Amulet Ice. Is it Amulet Nice or is it just Amulet Ice?
Oh, it's a messed up card.
Okay.
Like
before my time,
Yeah, it was messed up.
So go ahead with Rake the Embers.
Yeah, Rake the Embers here though. So this lets you make a good number of Aether Ashwings. Like this is like the most efficient like method of creating dragons. in
Okay.
Dromai and like checking for poppers, like being able to start off by throwing out your Aether Ashwings and forcing your opponent to either take like free damage to pop the follow-up dragon or to just kill the first little baby. Huge difference, because it's damn near impossible to kill those little guys, which is a shame. I like killing babies.
It was not ideal going into that as a Zuri. I'll tell you that much.
I was about to say, Ning, you have experience with this because your friend played.
Very unfun time.
Yeah, I don't know if this actually makes Dromai playable because, like we said earlier, KO is a big deal in this format, and KO can just kill Dromai super quickly sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also why Prism's not really played. It's very hard for Prism to get her foot with KO's running around. You know, KO's is still eating pretty good.
Prism's problem is that she doesn't have a weapon that lets her get go again very easily.
Now, my thoughts on Rootbound Carapace. Yeah, I'm thinking Florian. I'm thinking stacked Florian and defensive Florian. Yeah. But is that accurate?
Yeah, like that's like the biggest thing that turns out to me is if you play Florian, you have Rootbound Carapace, Reduce the Runechant, and Sigil of Suffering.
And Scepter of Pain, right?
Yeah, you have Scepter of Pain too, which, fun fact, Scepter of Pain can target allies, so you can kill an Aether Ashwing to make a Runechant, which is pretty funny.
That is hilarious. All right. So, yeah, I kind of feel like Florian's back on the market now, especially since a lot of the things that were going to target him kind of got nerfed. Like, Briar slowed down. Stacked Florian was already a thing. Don't you think you're going to see a little bit more of him?
Yeah, that's something that could be like something to look out for. Something to also note is like Terra was a deck that like preyed on Briar. And so the question is like, is getting Rootbound back enough to make up for losing a really good matchup in Briar?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't even think about that. But all right, guess we're going to find out when we head to Memphis in 2 weeks. Well, I'm sorry, Ning. 2 of the 3 of us cast right now.
I would, but I can't.
Yeah, I got you. Look, man, all I'm saying is, who cares about your firstborn being firstborn around that time? Just leave it, right? Like, who cares? I mean, I know a lot of. It's not born yet, but
well, the Memphis calling isn't about the firstborn. It's about the wife carrying her.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's even less important, clearly.
All right. So this is the ban list. Any final thoughts on this, guys?
No.
I think that should share. Oh, one thing. So it's not on the screen, but in the article where they talk about the bans of Silver Age specifically, they, you know how in Classic Constructed they always have this like long paragraph saying, "Hey, we're banning this card. Here's why."
Yeah.
So in the article where they're banning the Silver Age, they're like, "We're not going to do that here because for Silver Age, there's no like monetary repercussion for banning cards." And so therefore, we're just going to do it and you can figure it out. So that was pretty funny.
Well, here's the thing. We said that Silver Age, if they were to aggressively ban the offenders, it would be still a good format. Where in Blitz, they couldn't do that because it was monetarily hooked on these things, right? Yeah. So I like how they were aggressive. You know, KO's going to get hit eventually, too. He's going to get toned down or something. Or he's going to get voted out. Because if he's the main line aggressive deck, right? Or there's going to be something that price on KO coming out. So
yeah, Yokohama is in like less than 2 months, so that's probably where we're going to see how good KO really is.
Yeah, I mean KO's easy to kind of pick up and kind of run with, which is I think like kind of Briar, but Briar might still have game. And then
I mean, this in general is pretty easy to pick up decks.
And that's kind of the whole point, right?
So. Yeah, I like it. I like how aggressive they were. All right. Next thing, more news came out. We have our next set, Omens of the Third Age.
Fun fact, Omens of the Third Age comes out the same day that my daughter is expected to pop out too. So it all works out.
It's a daughter. I don't think I knew that.
The gender reveal party.
It's just a big reveal party. You know, we'll find out what it actually is, and if it's a girl, then we'll pop out an Aurora card, you know.
Let me guess. Aurora is going to be her name.
No attempt to make it her name.
All right. So we're going to cover the heroes. You want to cover this one first?
Yeah, sure. Aurora, Legacy of Tempest. She's coming back as a Lightning Runeblade hero. As an instant ability, you can pitch 2, tap her, and then destroy a Lightning Flow token that you control. If you do so, you can create an embodiment of Lightning token. So, seems to be basically the same as before, but two huge differences. One is instead of her being an elemental Runeblade, she is now a lightning Runeblade, which means she loses access to all of those elemental cards from aeons ago. And then also, before, she only needed to pitch 2 and for you to have played a lightning card to create an embodiment of lightning token. And this time, you need to have a pre-existing lightning flow token to create an embodiment of lightning. I don't know how easy or difficult it will be to have these on the board. Based off of what they've provided us, it seems like a lightning flow token is just a token with the word lightning flow on it. So it doesn't actually do anything or mean anything aside from being something to be broken.
Yeah. Something to note is in limited, the macro says that the lightning flows have spell void 1. CC, yeah. Lightning flow is just lightning flow, bro.
Yeah. Interesting. So we don't. So lightning flow might not actually have any text.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it just has no text on its own.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I think it's just going to be something on the board for you to interact with in your own deck mechanics.
I gotta say, man, I really like the new art of Aurora. They definitely.
It looks really good. It looks really good.
They made her Gooner. So
Bro, they put her front and center on the box and everything. Like, we got some waifus up here.
I mean, dude, they don't have her feet showing. It's all glittery, but they do have that belly button, I guess. I mean,
hey, look, the original one was her facing backwards, and then you could just see her butt. So
yeah, but the thing is, I mean, if that's what you call it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. When we get the art cards for this, we'll probably have an art card with her belly button and armpit together.
Ooh,
I
should have said that. That's true. So okay, I guess I'll cover the next one. Ziggy Starlight. Yeah, instant. 2 resources. Tap this bad boy. Destroy lightning flow you control. Banish another lightning aura permanent you control with no hollow counters. Return the banished aura to the arena with a hollow counter. Lightning Illusionist Hero. So Lightning Illusionist is our first one. And he has an armory deck coming out called Nebulous Rift. No, you can
enter the Nebulous Rift.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's just the area.
It sounds like some League of Legends stuff, man.
Yeah.
There's multiples of him in the back, I see. So, I'm pretty excited. But actually, what I was surprised to know is they did give him a weapon. Thank you, Andrew, for bringing this out. Aphrodisias. Instant, 1 resource, tap. Deal 2 arcane damage to target hero. Activates only if an aura with a hollow counter has entered the arena under your control this turn. Orb, 2-handed lightning illusionist weapon. So I'm pretty sure that other illusionists might not use a aura with a hollow counter, but we'll see. I doubt it. But the interesting thing is, this is the first weapon that deals 2 arcane damage, right? From
the illusionist.
From the illusionist class. Yeah. So, and they have the illusionist card pool. So it's interesting. So this is a hybrid illusionist wizard. I mean, it's interesting. So I don't know what else to say because we don't have any more information, but I'm pretty excited about this. I know Jeremy, our resident State player, is absolutely frothing right at this. He says this is like 10 out of 10 on Kodachi 5 scale, right? So
this is a Kodachi 5 out of 5s.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better way of saying it. All right.
Yeah, and finally we have Acilio Forked Continuum, who is a lightning wizard that starts at 38 instead of 36 like he did in the past.
Okay.
And his ability is, as an instant, pay 1, tap him, destroy a lightning flow you control, discard a card, and create a ponder token. If an instant is discarded this way, you may play it this turn. So a few things to note here. The discarding a card and creating a ponder token happens after the colon on it. So that means that it's not a cost with it. So if you just have 1 floating, you can turn a lightning flow into a ponder, even without an instant, which is pretty cool. But if you activate him, you do have to discard a card if you have 1 in hand.
Okay. Well, that's still pretty cool, though. So even at the end of the turn, you blow out your hand, you have a lightning flow, then you can still create the ponder, so you could convert your lightning flow into a ponder, though, at bare minimum.
Or your floating resource or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does, because right now, the only 2-cost instant legal in CC, I think, is Comet Storm Shock, and it's just the shock half of it. And so if we're going to use his ability that way, we're going to have to wait a bit to see what they give us in terms of weapons. But I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that he ends up being more arcane focused.
Yeah.
There are some lists that are all focused on arcane with Acilio playing Stormstriders and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they start leaning into that with his design, because paying 1, like discarding a sigil to make it like a ponder, playing the sigil, and then playing like a 2-cost spell sounds like an interesting design space.
And I know we didn't speak about this yet, guys, but good God, it's been a long time since we had a sealed gameplay come out, and this one is going to be sealed all the way, right? Not sealed, but limited, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about
This is
that.
good for, I believe, both.
It's gonna be 9 months
and nationals.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that. I like that a lot. But all right. I mean, we could have honestly did a whole cast on this and not even talk about Vynnset. But again, timestamps below. Kudos to the audience who's listening this far. This is the longest we went on the intro stuff before. But let's go ahead and jump into the main topic, unless there's anything else you guys want to say.
No, main topic time. Let's go.
All right. So we're talking about Vynnset. Now, Andrew, I know you wanted to talk about this last week, but we decided to do 5 first. And as soon as June did really good, you're like, oh, son of a bitch. We should have done this first. I was right, and everyone else was wrong. I hate the world. You didn't say it like that.
I didn't say we should have done Vynnset first. That was in hindsight.
Okay.
Damn it. Vynnset just, got second at a call. We could have had the video out ahead of time, and then when somebody Googles Flesh and Blood Vynnset, we could have popped up and it would have been perfect.
But kudos to you, because I know you and Evan had a back and forth conversation about this, where the common consensus was Vynnset got a few cards in Compendium, but you were saying on the side that the few cards that Vynnset did get made her into a different kind of beast. Right? Is that kind of, am I putting words in your mouth? Is that kind of like something?
I wouldn't say it's a new beast, but it is a more dangerous beast.
Okay, I like that. So I guess I know I'm picking up Vynnset again. Ning, you've been very familiar with Vynnset. I don't know the guy's list yet you're running, but it was whipped my ass.
Yeah. I was using a Zen States list and just looking at what he did. He just seems like a pretty popular Vynnset player on YouTube.
Okay, until Junelle came out and kicked some ass. So, Andrew, you're the resident Vynnset expert. I was a Vynnset dabbler. I picked her up for a couple months. Things started clicking. What's the identity of the hero for our new listeners, and kind of a refresher for our old ones that are coming back into Vynnset?
Yeah, so I think the easiest way to talk about Vynnset and her identity is just start off by reading her hero card here.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to go bring up that thing we call Fab, where I was looking at Aphrodite. And maybe we should bring up Vynnset's
Iron Maiden herself. Yeah. Speaking of Iron Maidens, in the description of this video, we should have a link to a video on a YouTube channel from somebody called the Iron Maiden.
Okay.
With an interview / deck tech with June actually explaining things a whole lot better and the specific choices she made in deck construction.
Okay.
Because, originally we were going to do a deck tech on Vynnset this weekend, and it's like, well, shit. Nothing we do is going to top that.
Plus, June's list, I saw, and I think, Andrew, you pointed this out too. She has all the matchups for her list pointed out. And then on top of that, so we're like kind of the addendum here, right? We're the enhancement, the little spice of the seasoning on top, right? Okay.
That's one way to word it. I wouldn't say that we're bottom feeders. It's
just... wait. Listen up. Good content's good content, all right? You want to read Vynnset's?
Yeah, so Vynnset Iron Maiden here. So Shadow Runeblade. At the start of your turn, you banish a card from your hand, and if you do, you create a Runechant token. And whenever you play a Shadow non-attack action card, you may pay 1 life. If you do, the next Runechant effect that would be dealt, that would deal damage this turn cannot be prevented.
And on a side note, I know she's 4 intellect, 40 health. Should we talk about her signature weapon that's usually housed with her?
Oh, the Flail of Agony? Yeah, this is a pretty cool little pokey thing. It's a one-handed weapon. Once per turn action, you can pay a life to attack with it. And on hit, it creates a Runechant token. Comes in for 1. So it's just a very simple, small weapon.
You say simple, but Andrew, I'll tell you now, most new players or rookie players or bad players uses this ineffectively a lot of the times, right?
Because you'll be surprised how often you don't actually get around to actually swinging it versus sometimes you do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because when you swing this, it activates your Runechants, right? If you had some. Yeah. All right. Going back to Vynnset, and so you got the identity of what's the identity? Now you read her ability, so it's a lot of text, but what's that mean?
So first off, you maybe. Actually, we should probably talk about what Runechant tokens do too for those.
Okay. There's so much to unravel with
there's so much what is it? Required reading for this deck.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, Runechant just says It's an aura with whenever you play an attack action card or activate a weapon attack, destroy this and deal 1 arcane damage to target opposing hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things about Runechant, this is for the new players, so bear with us veterans, but Runechants, even though you might have a die signifying that you have 6 Runechants, they're actually individual 1 Runechant 6 times, or whatever you stack you built up to. So when they go off, it's always just 1 Runechant, then the next Runechant, until pretty much all the Runechants are expended.
So basically, you only need Arcane Barrier 1 to cancel out a really big string of Runechants.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other required reading, Andrew?
Not yet. So we'll back up Vynnset here.
Okay.
So yeah, basically what she does is every turn she lets you convert a card in your hand to 1 arcane damage, which sounds really bad when you say it like that. But she has cards that can be played from the banish zone. And so what that means is instead of having to give up a card to make a Runechant, you're just dealing 1 damage for free. And a lot of these cards are free to play if you have a certain amount of Runechants.
Okay.
Meaning that you're actually just basically drawing cards and dealing damage to your opponent at the same time, which,
so
pretty good.
It seems pretty good, but there's a reason why people weren't playing her. I guess we could cover that when we explain more about what's her drawback is, or her biggest issues. But so converts Runechants into free big attacks, deals kind of evasive damage into Runechant. You have to have AB to actually target that. And some degenerates don't play AB at all into her, which is a mistake, I find.
I mean, you're playing Synthroidism.
Well, I guess that's true. So Runechant generation, what else? You mentioned something about Blood Debt, some of the cards, or not yet?
Yeah. So let's start off by talking about some of these cards that get to be made cheaper, or aka free. Oh, it just
Runechant.
Oops.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I have no clue how to get rid of that, guys.
Just one of those episodes.
Oh my god, what is going on here? I'm afraid of messing up the whole thing. Okay, it's just floating around now, guys, so bear with me. Okay, yes. There we go. All right.
So I think like the easiest way to start off is by explaining the rune gate mechanic. So let's pull up Deathly Whale here, because it's also one of your primary Runechant generators.
Yep, Deathly Whale. And, I usually just run the red line version of it, but I know you run Rainbow most of the time.
Oh yeah, but Rainbow Whale's so
Rainbow's
cool.
Good.
Yeah.
This card's messed up. Yeah, so Rune Gate says if you control Runechants equal to or greater than the card's cost, you may play from your banish zone without paying its cost. So Deathly Whale here costs free, blocks for free, and then in red it comes in for 6, yellow 5, blue 4. But it also has Blood Debt, which means at the end of your turn, if it's in your banish zone, you'll lose 1 life.
Yep.
And so while you're, able to stockpile these cards for next turn, it comes at a cost. And boy, are you going to pay that cost, because it's really fun to have big hand.
Yeah. So, yeah, and sometimes you think you have something lined up, but your opponent messes with you a little bit, and you're just taking Blood Debt for an extra turn or two, which you didn't calculate.
Yeah, you just need to accept it, okay?
Yeah. Good times. All right.
Deathly Whale, too, it says when the combat chain closes, you create Runechants equal to the number of heroes who have lost life this turn. This ties into the other ability on Vynnset with the Shadow non-attack.
Yep.
It also ties in with the weapon. Both are easy ways for you to commit self-harm to power up your other attacks, basically.
Yeah. Okay, and what's another Shadow Runeblade card that's kind of, for Vynnset? Do you have one in mind?
Another one we could talk about is the Deep Recesses of Existence, because let's talk about that card, because it's new and really, really messed up.
Were we kind of low on this card initially when we were doing the review, and then we kind of thought more about it and got higher on it?
I was drunk at the time. I can't have that be held against me, okay?
Fair enough. I mean, I've done that for sure in our set reviews. They're hours long, people, and you gotta hear me talk. It's just a bad deal, right? So,
yeah, bro. Compendium was big.
Yeah, it was. That was like a 4-hour. Anyways, I'll go ahead and read Deep Recesses unless you want to.
No, go for it.
All
Go
right.
for it.
So Deep Recesses of Existence is a blue pitch, 4 cost, 6 power, 3 block card that has Rune Gate. Andrew already read the Rune Gate mechanic, so I'll continue on with the text. When the combat chain closes, you may banish this face down. If you do, for each hero who has lost life this turn, banish a card from their graveyard. This does, in fact, have Blood Debt. Most of her Rune Gate cards have Blood Debt of some sort.
Right.
Okay.
All the Rune Gates have Blood Debt.
Okay. Spoiler. So I read this, and it doesn't seem like it would be that strong, Andrew. I mean,
It says draw a card on it, basically, because you just banish a Runegate. And so, like, we'll get around to it eventually, but, like, there are some just stupid turns you can do with this card. And then it also is graveyard hate. So if you're playing against, like, Gravy, for example, and they have a chum sitting in graveyard, you can just get rid of it.
So you're saying this is better than my Gravekeeping Tech and KO?
Yeah.
So what does this do to Fi? Right, he's been running around.
Phoenix Flame against Syndra. You can eat their Cloth and Zerakai.
Ooh, love that. Whoa, I didn't even think about that. That is so irritating when Syndra is like stomping my Vynnset because of the freaking claw.
Yeah, you can like do a bunch of like against Acilio, for example, you could like eat their sigils that they're trying to get back with Etchings of Arcana.
Oh.
That's actually pretty crazy that you can actually choose the card to banish as opposed to your opponent choosing it, which is what the other cards are doing, like Cole, right?
Yeah.
But you still have to make them lose life, which, you know, I'm assuming that there's ways of doing that guaranteed. But sometimes you'll block out. I get it.
I mean, your hero ability makes the first Runechant unpreventable. They're not stopping it.
That's true. That's true. If you stack it right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, if they have any prevention effects, they all die. So, like, for example, like, you know, Prism, if they have, like, their Ward 4 Angels and, like, a Spectral Shield, you just make them all disappear 80 deal with Arcade.
That's why it's an 80-20 matchup. So, excellent. All right. So Deep Recess of Existence is a new card from Pen. It was actually an enabler for her to make her like really spike harder. I know that's why you're excited. Okay, so a lot of good things going on so far. What else do we want to go from this? All right, we're building up the foundation here.
Yeah, see, one thing you may notice is these are really cool if you have Runechants, but you need to make Runechants. And the best card for that is Malefic Incantation.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty sure the Coldful is spiked by now.
It hasn't, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro, you want one?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to downgrade my shinies to just be the bare functional stuff. So
we have Malefic Incantation here. Nate, why don't you read it?
Malefic Incantation comes in a rainbow. It costs 0, has Go Again, and it is a Runeblade action or it blocks for 2. It says Go Again. This enters the arena with 3 burst counters. If it's yellow, it comes in with 2. Blue comes in with 1. When it has none, destroy it. Once per turn, when you play an attack action card, remove a counter from this. If you do, create a Runechant token.
Now, seems pretty good. So you attack and you generate Runechant for the next setup.
Yeah. So there's like basically like 2 main things you can do with this. It either lets you basically float Runechants for your next turn. And so in like a lot of your aggro matchups where your opponent's not super great at blocking, what you do is you block them out for the most part usually and keep like 1 or 2 cards. You banish 1, send the Runegate, make some Runechants, and you just keep on doing it until your opponent dies. And then in your like more combo-y matchups where you get to actually be the combo deck, it helps pay for the second Runegate in a turn. And so usually like your big combo turns are going to involve you playing 2 attacks, one of them being a Deathly Whale, and then playing a third Runegate off the back of the Deathly Whale Runechant generation.
Okay, excellent.
And if all else fails, we have Vexing Quillhand, which is our armed piece.
Get out of jail free card.
Yeah, it is our get out of jail free card. Yeah, it's just Arms of Arcane Barrier 1, and as an action, you can destroy it to create 2 Runechants, and it has Go Again. Yeah, this card's Goliath Collar and Hardened Cross Trap and No Rune Gloves, all in one card.
Yeah, I know I would run this sometimes instead of the other glove variations, the ones that generate Runechants. Just if I was trying to go super aggro and super quick, if the game wasn't going to go long, just pop this and try to end it fast.
Yeah, this is like something that like Viscerize were playing in CC when what was it, Plutchy Skeletal was legal, to just stack super quickly and kill people super fast.
Yeah.
Grasp of the Arknight, that's what it's called.
Yeah, June's List has Grasp in it, but Grasp is very much a sideboard card. Vexing is
the main card, really.
This card's it's No Rune Gloves, Goliath Gauntlet, and Hardened Cross Trap.
So it must be a highly aggressive. I know we're going to talk about June. I know you deep dived into it a lot.
I think generally speaking, based off of what I've seen, people are generally higher on Vexing Cool Hands than Grasp of the Arknight and Vynnset in general.
Has use cases, but
okay.
This card is messed up.
So we'll go ahead, Andrew.
We also got Grimoire Felling Song too.
Where's the Felling Song? I'm trying to remember what that is. Let's see.
The new one.
Oh, that's Chorus of Frotwood, man. No.
I know.
That's
Nope.
Horse of the Amphitheater.
No.
I know.
So it's G-R-I...
What is it?
Grim Song.
Grimoire. Okay.
Yeah,
Grimoire. What am I? Dude, I'm sorry. There you go. I got you. Grimoire Felling Song, the equipment piece. For some reason, I thought you were saying everything chorus Felling Song. I was like, okay. So I'll read it since I made this mistake. It's a Runeblade equipment offhand. It's a majestic, so sorry, stage players. But it's instant. Pay a resource, destroy this, create a Runechant token. Fair?
Yeah, so this is like backup Vexing Quill Hand, but like there are other cool things about it. Since it's an instant, you can do it on your opponent's turn. So like for example, something that what happens sometimes with Vynnset is you look at your opening hand and you go, oh, this hand bad.
Right.
And my opponent said pass priority. This can be like your emergency button. You know, sometimes like you'll open up and like you'll have a 2 cost as your cheapest rune gate.
Interesting.
Previously, that would mean your first turn required you to break Vexing Quill Hand, and that sucked, or whatever. Now you can just break this and go with it. Like I had a game this week where I looked at my opening hand. It was literally like 1 non-attack and 3 widespread ruins, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I think the other Grimoire that was being used is Grimoire the Haunt sometimes, or just the Buckler, the generic.
Yeah, nobody's playing Bloody Oval anymore.
Yeah. Well, not anymore because you got the Grimoire the Felling Song.
This Felling Song is super good. That's also really good because it's an offhand of Arcane Barrier. And keep in mind, your weapon is one-handed.
Yeah.
So you can play with this.
The Eloquence tokens sometimes does come in handy. I mean, I know we're not extolling the virtues of the Haunt, but, you know, it does have blood.
Eloquence eventually. Yeah. It's really, really good.
Okay. Now, I know I like the thought of Vynnset first because of all the disruption. Do we need to cover that right now?
I think like the main thing to talk about is Cole, because Cole is a messed up card.
Yeah, buddy. This has got to jump the price by now.
Oh, it's over $40 now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
That's non-foil too, I think.
Dude, I might have extra Coles. All right, I won't look. Dang.
I don't know. Stalks, boy.
Oh man, who thought that my cat knocking over my cards and it being buried under massive bullshit? Right? I mean, okay, on a side tangent, you guys seen my cat earlier. Was it not aggressively like being a pain in the ass?
I mean, I didn't see it. I just heard it over and over again.
Yeah.
All right. Cole, go on with Cole. All right. Do you want to read this answer or you want me to do it?
No, you can read it.
It's a red pitch, 0 cost. There is no rainbow on this. It is a 3-block Shadow Runeblade action, so it kind of goes with Vynnset's ability. You may play this from the banish zone. If a hero has lost life this turn, you may play this as though it was an instant. Each hero banishes a card from their hand. This does have blood debt. Lot to unpack here. Andrew, layman's terms.
Yeah, this card is really messed up.
Yeah. Ning, do you agree with that sentiment?
Oh, well, just in general, it's really messed up. And then if you combo it with the deep recesses of whatever, I think it gets even sillier.
Yeah. No, like deep recesses, banish Cole is amazing. If you play 2 Coles in 1 turn that your opponent desperately wants to block, it's insane. A lot of decks too, it can be obvious that they need a card in their hand to do something crazy. Like a big one is Dio, for example.
Yeah.
Like when they boost for the 3rd time in a turn and they have 2 floating, it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna Cole here.
Oh man.
Yeah. Something to keep in mind too is if you're playing against Vynnset, you have to play around this card constantly. Yeah. Like for example, if you're playing like Dio, and like let's say you have like somehow 4 resources floating and you want to backup protocol red. Actually, no, it doesn't matter.
What was
you have to like actually? Good question. I don't know. But like, you know, after every time you deal damage in a turn, you have to be like, I would like to do this. Anything before I go again?
Yeah.
And it sucks because that's what you have to do. Because
you know
otherwise,
what? Andrew, you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to say, wait. There's a priority window. Let me think. Okay, please proceed.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
Like,
there's a priority window. Please proceed.
Icelander.
Yeah, dude, it's going. The mind games. It's already starting here. I'm getting ready for this. It's good.
Yeah, no. One of my favorite stories ever was Randall playing Rhinar against the Kano. Yeah, it was a Majin Bay actually. He was playing against.
Excellent.
And so like Randall just has 1 card in his hand. This is like right after heavy hitters dropped. And like Majin's like going off, and like Randall's like, I have like no responses until you activate Ragamuffins. And he just like said that, and like Majin stopped and it's like, why would he say that? Why does he do that? He's like, You have agile windup in hand.
That's so funny.
This completely changes what he's doing. It's just a shitty blue card. It's not even agile windup.
But here's the thing about Randall. Randall's a great numbers guy, and that's not why he played Reinhardt. It was not for his ability per se. It was just for the sheer numbers of that card. I don't think he played Blood Rush Bellow in his cards or in his deck, right? I can't remember. It was something weird.
Yeah, there were many times where he has just taken that card out. And
Yeah. All right, that's good times. So Cole's the biggest one. What else are we talking here?
I mean, we have your favorite card, Succumb to Temptation.
Ooh, that's.
Yeah,
Let me tell you. So this is probably the one that I am known for shouting out at the top of my lungs. Time to suck you off, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!" It's true.
Well,
It's
I was talking with our locals, Nate and Cliff, today, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Vynnset. Man, Will used to play Vynnset, and the first time we ever played against him, he just shouted, 'I'm gonna suck you!'" And they were like, "Whoa!"
Well, here's the thing. I did ask him, do you want the true Will treatment, or do you want me to tone it back a little bit? They're like, "Well, I want you to play me like you would play anyone else." I was like, "Fine."
And I'll suck you off.
I think, yeah, anyways, we can talk about how much times people are going to get embarrassed when I use this card on them. But hey, they'll never forget it.
Well,
Andrew, please continue on with that.
Yeah, so this is just a yellow 0-cost free block. If you tell Arcane, this turn now you play this over an instant, and next time a Runeblade attack action card you control hits a hero this turn, look at their hand and choose a card, they discard it, and it just has go again.
Yep.
So this is a 0-cost way to generate an action point and take a card from your opponent's hand and know what's in their hand.
Yeah, and hand knowledge is so good just in period. And then now you got this. You can take their key pieces. So this does really reward meta knowledge, right? The more you know about the game, it's just so backbreaking.
Yeah, it's so annoying that both like this and Cole are in the same deck, because that means there's so much like skill curve in playing Vynnset just from these two cards alone.
Yeah, and
because like even if you know their hand, you don't know their arsenal.
No. And it did take me a long time to start actually feeling comfortable with Vynnset. Not great with Vynnset, just comfortable, right? And it took me months, dude, before I started like really getting the vibe with her. All right, so that's a good one. Thank you for bringing. I'm getting excited for kicking back off Vynnset. Brute adjacent hero, yeah. What else are we talking about here? Face Purgatory? You want to go equipment suite, or you want to just continue with
talk equipment now? I guess.
Okay, because you want to go spellbound first, or you want to say that for the last? Since it's such this.
We can do that later. Sword Creepers is. Like, we may not even talk about it in, like, this section and wait until, like, I do the showcase to show what that card does.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so Face Purgatory first?
Yeah, because this is just, like, a insane, like, disruptive card.
Yeah.
And then can you cover this one?
Yeah, so it's a head rune equipment that blocks for 2. When this defends together with an attack action card and a non-attack action card, the attacking hero discards a card and you draw a card with Blade Break. So... Pretty good.
Yeah.
Generally allowed to strip their hand, but also you get to draw a card, and just overall, yeah.
I know sometimes this card can make or break an opponent's turn. Like if you use this at the right time, it can really just hard stop them and get you tempo back right away. I've had this card single-handedly win me the game because of that. Right? It was just the right moment, and I didn't know it was the right moment. I just, pulled shit out my ass and
I feel like this card has a surprisingly higher skill ceiling than you would think it has.
Yeah.
It's very easy to misuse it or time it incorrectly where it's the opponent's like, okay, whatever. Or it could just completely break their turn.
Yeah.
I mean, I know several times when I'm playing Vynnset, Andrew, you'd walk by and give me the Andrew look. And it's not a good look, brother. It wasn't a good look. It was a judgment look. I was like, oops, I did something wrong. All right. So that's Face Purgatory. We don't want to go on this journey before we even get to the main deck. I know we're 50 minutes into this, but it's a lot to unpack with that, dude.
I mean, we'll go quickly after we talk about all the cards.
Yeah.
I think like the last thing to mainly talk about is the stack packages in this.
Okay. So I guess we got to pick up Mordred first.
Yeah, I can start with Mordred Tide. Mordred Tide is just like a red 0-cost free block Runeblade action. Until end of turn, if you create one or more Runechant tokens, instead of create that many +1, and it has go again. So the main thing is like this plus Malefic Incantation and like all your other cards. It's pretty easy to have this be like a 1-card 5+ over the course of a turn.
And, I forget that this was included in the Viscerize Armory deck, the one you can only get con exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that card was insane in Viscera.
Yeah. I don't think I have a playset, but okay. And then Galaxia would
It's
be
not a
another one.
Galaxia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the one that is this the one used in Viscera as well, or is this no?
Yeah,
That's
Viscera would play both Galaxia and Arcanix.
that's right.
But yeah, Galaxia, despite having, outside of having really good art, is a 2-block red card that costs XX. And also 1 less to play for each Runechant you control. Each search your deck for a Runeblade aura with cost X or less, put into the arena, then shuffle. And if X is 2 or more, this gets go again. So this is just a way to more consistently get out your Malefics. Generally, your game plan into a lot of your fatiguing matchups is to get out a ton of Malefic incantations early.
Okay. And so Sonata Galaxia is kind of like your tutor for these cards where you could just go fetch them. You actually don't have to pitch anything. So it's a turn ender sometimes, right?
Yeah, you
or
can end
you
your turn with it. It also, if you have 4 Runechants, it just lets you grab anything and get go again.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah, and the other thing you play too is Runeblade Incantation, which is an aura that you can grab with the Galaxia because it costs 1 as a 2-block in red. Enters the arena with free first counters, I believe.
Yeah, and there's a Rainbow Suite, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't play the other colors, you just play red. And
Okay.
if your action phase, you can remove a counter to create a Runechant token, otherwise destroy it. Something you'll note too is that this just says otherwise destroy it. So it sticks around for a turn after it loses all its counters. Which, if you're playing any cards that say sacrifice an aura you can control is pretty relevant.
Which
one,
would
one
go
day,
to
Snuff Out will have its time to shine one day.
Stuff Out is something that works with it. Deadwood Dirge is the main one.
Yeah.
Deadwood Dirge just says sacrifice an aura, make free Runechants. Normally you sacrifice a Runechant, but you sacrifice Runeblade Incantation when you have 0 counters on it. It's like committing tax evasion, man. I love it.
And we don't condone tax evasion on Tunic Counter Gamers. Thankfully, we don't pay taxes on this show. So, well, I pay taxes, but not for the show. So
yeah, Will doesn't pay his taxes. You heard it here first.
So Deadwood Dirge, yeah. So this is a way to destroy the empty counters or destroy 1 Runechant to make 3 more at red. So, and then they got Rainbow Suite, so yellow would be 2, and then blue would be 1.
Yeah, but yeah, I think those are the main things we're talking about in order to fully understand the context of everything else with Vynnset.
Okay, cool. So that's a lot of cards, but there's also a whole much more cards with Vynnset, but these are the prime ones that kind of get you her general game plan, right?
Yeah.
All right, where do you want to go with this?
That's a good question.
Now, I see here you had Fasting Carcass. Should we cover that?
Yeah, we can talk about that card because this is a card that June wasn't playing, but is still pretty good in the right builds. I guess I know, especially in Silver Age, this card's actually really useful because there's not as many shadow non-attacks in that form. This is just 0 cost free block. The red version says next red action card you play this turn gets go again. It has go again, and it has blood debt. The yellow version says yellow. The blue version says blue. Both the red and blues actually have playability in it too, I might add. Yellow, not so much.
Yeah, but a lot of her powerful blue cards, like Widespread Annihilation, the new
Deep Recesses,
Blue
Whale.
Yep. Okay. So something that you were looking at.
Yeah. Something you'll note too is it has blood debt, but you can't get it out of blood debt. So you do not want to banish this to Vynnset. And there are some cards that just flip cards off the top of your deck. And it's really bad if you hit that with this. So what that means is that you can't realistically play this against aggro decks, which is sad.
I didn't even think about that, but you are absolutely correct, dude. Because how many times has that happened?
We don't talk about it. So another cool use case for it too is it just says action card, not attack. So Cole can be played as an instant.
Yeah.
So you can go Fasting Carcass, Penguin Life for Vynnset. You've lost life this turn. Play Cole as though we're an instant. Now you're up at an action point.
Wow. And then I guess you're also, if it's Cole and your banishing card, seems pretty good.
Yeah. Well, this is also awful in the mirror because Deep Recesses of Existence banishing this from your graveyard is sick. I'm taking free damage in this game for free.
Yeah. All right. So we covered a few of the cards from Compendium. The main ones was the Grimoire of the Felling Song, which makes sense. It's a get out jail free card that she didn't have access to before. Deep Recess of Existence, which is just a way for her to get more attacks stacked in her banish zones, so her pop-off turns bigger, badder, bulkier, whatever you want to say it, right? Fasting Carcass, which you're playing around. What was Vynnset's biggest issue before Compendium came out? Because I know my biggest issue with her is everyone could just hardcore block her early enough and she'd fatigue out, right?
I mean, if you're getting fatigued as Vynnset, that means that you're not hurting yourself enough.
Fair.
Something I like to think about with Vynnset is realistically, don't think about it as you starting the game at like 40 life. Think about it as you starting the game at like probably 20 something life. And like just think I have 10 life to spend on blood debt over the course of a game or whatever.
Fair. All right. Okay. And then, so what was her major issue before Compendium dropped? Like why wasn't she on the top meta decks then? Why is she winning now?
So one of the big ones was first off Florian existing, because Florian was a really bad matchup, and Florian going away solves a lot of those issues.
Okay.
And like another big one too is that Grimoire Felling Song means that she's got slightly more consistent. Like I was talking about earlier, sometimes you just look at your hand and you go, man, if I just had one more Runechant, this hand would go so hard.
Yeah. That's fair. And if those players that have not played Vynnset before and are interested in her, you're going to have that. It is very frustrating, dude. That's where she's like brute adjacent to me, right? Because sometimes you just flip over the non-6, right?
Yeah.
So, and then KO came out and everything became consistent. So, all right. So all sorts of good things coming out for her. She's now a contender in this current meta because of the Compendium. But how? Like, so is Vynnset a meta deck or is she a meta counter? Like, why does she actually rise up now?
She's like what I would describe more of as like a counter deck. There are metas that are pretty hostile towards her. Thankfully, we're in a meta that's not super awful for it. Like one of her biggest issues is decks that just don't let you set up. And so the two main ways to do that is to either be really aggressive or to be like, you know, decently disruptive.
Okay. Yeah. And I know you were talking earlier how she could pop off and do massive amounts of damage at one time now. The damage ceiling on her, like, really increased, right? You want to explain that? Like, how did the Compendium help with that? Because my Vynnset was more like a red line where I did play a few blues, but it was always enough to flip off cards and go 2-card 8 every turn, you know? But yours is a little bit different, so I'm not familiar with this style of Vynnset. I was more of like...
Yeah, you're going to be more explosive now. Like, there are matchups where you still basically do, like, the 1 to 2 card 8 trick over and over again. Like, these are mainly stuff like Syndra that are decks that you just know will never actually be good against you, like, if they try to block.
Okay.
But a lot of the time what you're going to do is usually stack up a bunch of Runechants, block a lot, and then, like, you know, send, like, 20 to 30 damage turns.
Ooh.
Yeah,
like that.
Like fairly similar to like Acilio or Prism, you know, playing more of like a macro game plan than like being concerned about turn-to-turn value.
Gotcha. I guess maybe that's where I was stagnating a little bit out, where you're talking about building up the Runechant density and then you convert them to a large pop-off or combo turn.
Yeah, like I would not be surprised if it turns out that you've never sat down and just written down like combo lines before with Vynnset.
I have not ever done that, but I'm glad that's why I'm glad you're here.
Well, I was able to do that with your deck. In fairness, just letting you know, setting enough malefic incantations and doing all the things to be able to do 2 or 3 rune gate deep. So it's possible with your deck. FYI.
I guess it's just not my playstyle, but okay. I mean, I have learned to be a lot more patient since I stopped rolling scabs way back then. No comment on that, guys. Now, Andrew, looking at the show notes, you did have a note here saying reduced self-sabotage.
Did I do that?
I can't remember if you did that or if I did that in my haste to get these show. Okay,
I think self-sabotage sounds like a you thing, honestly.
Okay. Fair enough then. So I guess because there would be times where I know I'd be like trying to put pressure on my opponent, and then I would go for a play line, or I would draw up my cards, or I'm relying on like one rune gate card to come in, and I just bricked hard. Right, I didn't get a Runechant generator, and then it's like with the Compendium with the new card, did it reduce that? Like, did deep recesses reduce the ability to? What's that?
You can call him Dre. You don't have to say the full name.
Oh, is it Dre?
Yeah. Have you ever seen DRE?
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, you know, famous rapper Dr. Dre.
Yeah. We're bringing Dre, Vynnset Dre. I mean, she got the piercings too. Okay, it makes sense. So, Dre, did Dre just really make her have less of that because it's just another enabler for her to go on the combo?
Yeah, makes her easier to exploit out of nowhere.
Okay. And then, do you want to talk about the actual deck before we talk about the meta pressures, or do you want
to... You want me to like show off some like cool lines here.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why
All
Neem's
right.
here.
I'll have to change my setup here.
Oh, okay, okay.
How do we do this?
Well, shoot. Let me go ahead and just do this, Andrew.
Whoa, I'm so tiny. Hold on. Let me flip here so that way we're a little bit better. Yeah, I like it too. Oh, yeah, we're moving too much. You know, this looks like enough to show off a good bit here. All right, so wait for the lighting to go down here. This could be a bit better. Oh god, we need to flip the horizontal too. Hold on. Yeah, this is a lot better off here for understanding things. So let's just talk about a very simple deep recesses of existence line here. So we're going to start off here with 3 malefics in play, 4 Runechants, 3 counters on Tunic. We'll have all of our important equipment up. And we're just going to start here with a Deathly Wail and Deep Recesses of Existence in Banish. It doesn't have to be Red Whale, it can be any color. And all we need to do with to present 20 plus damage is just have a Shadow non-attack and a non-attack that gives go again. So very simple line we can start off with here is we play Beseech Demigod here. This is a Shadow non-attack that lets you give a rune gate plus free. But more importantly, it has go again. So we can pay 1 life for Vynnset here to make our next Runechant unpreventable and throw out our Deep Recesses of Existence here. So this is going to allow us to throw the dice here to show off the numbies. 9 physical, 4 arcane, and then triggers our malefics to make 3 Runechants on the back end. Then what we can do is we can activate Tunic. Here we have Spellbound Creepers. Lets us pay 1 to put a counter on it and play our next non-attack as though we're an instant. And all we have to do to activate this is either play an attack action card or block with one. Well, actually, technically attack with an attack, but that doesn't matter too often. So this lets us play our Machinations of Dominion here as instant. This just gives our next attack go again. Then we can throw out Deathly Wail here for 6 and 3, but we still have an action point left because of the go again. And then this is where I was talking about earlier with Deep Recesses letting you explode here, because now you banish this to banish some rune gate you have in Graveyard. That's a good target. Or if you have Grimoire of Felling Song, you can just banish Deathly Wail from earlier. And then Deathly Wail here makes 2 Runechants. And so here I just went with Widespread Ruin because it's a 2-cost rune gate. It could be literally anything. And this just comes in for 6 physical and 2 arcane. So if we pull up the dice here, we can see how much total damage that turned out. Yeah, that was 30 damage. And all we had in hand was 2 cards. That's what I meant with Deep Recesses is a messed up card. Yeah, I just play yellows and reds. Yeah, and very easily you could have had a Mordred Tide on this turn, and so suddenly these 3 malefics just did 3 Runechants. Deathly Wail made another Runechant, so that's another 4 more damage you just threw. If you activate Vexing Quill Hand, that can be 4 damage. Let's say for example, you had another way to play a non-attack that gives go again here. We could have, if we had a second Deep Recesses in Graveyard, we could have banished one to the other one, played another way to give it go again, play our Deep Recesses, his off after breaking Vexing Quill Hand, and it just does things, man. We could easily change this setup and have it be Deep Recesses is the one in Banish, and with Widespread Ruin, we send the Deep Recesses, Tunic, Machinations, Closed Shame, and look, we're at the same place we were earlier. We just got there differently. And yeah, also this Deep Recesses could just be multiple rune gates as well. If you have 2 Deathly Wails in the Widespread Ruin and Banish, that also works. But getting the Deep Recesses plus Deathly Wail out is something that's pretty easy just to aim for over and over again. Yeah, another thing too that's really good to do is Grimoire of the Haunt here. So Grimoire of the Haunt, you can pay 1 to destroy it and create an Eloquence token. An Eloquence token say when you play a non-attack action card, destroy this and give that card go again. Yeah, it's a cool for Eloquence. Almost this entire... All I'm missing is a foil cold to have this deck be pimped out completely, man. And I'm so annoyed they just spiked because I was going to buy one and then I got distracted. Yeah, so what's cool about this Grimoire card is, let's say we have, our boys in Banish here again. We can generate action points using Coals and Feudal Moon, which has text very similar to Coal, but it just makes a Runechant instead of, all that other messed up stuff that Coal does. So something that's cool is you can go Tunic, break Grimoire here, and play, your Coals and Feudal Moons out of Banish or hand here. And what's interesting is Vynnset and Eloquence trigger at the same time. So, let's say we play our Coal here. We can resolve Vynnset first, And so now we've lost life in the turn because we just paid 1 life, and we can play the Funeral Moons before this Eloquence pops. And the way Eloquence is worded is, as long as it's in the arena when you play these non-attacks get go again, even if the Eloquence goes away before we resolve that. So, this hand here, for example, this just went from like 1 action point to 3 action points. And that's like something, so that's like another insane thing you can do, because you could, for example, let's see, where's our Beseech here? We open up with Beseech into Deep Recesses. We break our Grimoire of the Haunt. Deep Recesses will banish like a coal from Graveyard. And now we go off here instead of using Creepers. And that lets us throw a bunch of damage in its own way. Yeah. It's like those are like the 2 main things I just wanted to show off here with Deep Recesses. Yeah, this deck really rewards like pattern recognition. And it's a lot of like, you do this once in a game and you're like, wow, that was really cool. I'm going to remember that for a long time. And then you're like, oh, this is like that one time. And you're like, oh, wait, I can do this again. 3 times in a game, not super often. Now, getting like a Deep Recesses plus like Deathly Will turn at least once a game on it is playing like a Fatigue deck. I don't know. Hold on. Go back to me. Hello. Oh, I'm so big here.
Let me fix this. Guys, this is all new. I'm playing around with things that I didn't do. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I'm going to shrink him back down. Here you go.
Oh, no, I'm small again.
Look, I wanted the people to get I wanted the people to get the full experience with that, so, sorry, Andrew. I really botched it. But look, as Ning says, I show my generation very often. I did not grow up with a computer. Right? I learned it at the age of 20-something. So I didn't even know that I was messing with this screen. That's a little fun fact about me. There's always one week where I just give you a little bit of a fun fact.
All right, there we go.
So let me see how the rest
I feel like the interesting part is just that turn the turn where he played 3 cards does not seem that difficult to pull off.
Yeah, all you needed
at
was
least
2 cards and banish, and like you have 9 Malefics basically in your deck.
Yeah.
That happens exceedingly often over the course of games.
Who would have thought that one screen messing around would change all the other screens, fellas? Did you know this? I sure didn't know that.
We need to set up screens if we ever want to do this again.
I'll tell you what. Look, this is
look.
This is professionalism right here, fellas. The show must go on.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that seems pretty good though, man. And that's like you could really practice those lines of goldfishing too.
This is a deck that you don't need another human being to practice a lot of the time.
So, Vynnset's for the introverts. You heard it here first, y'all. Or for the extroverts that want to shout, suck you off. Or the introverts that want to whisper, it's time to suck you off.
You want to get sucked? Boom.
Dude, yeah. Can you imagine? Anyways, I hope we don't get like YouTube. Yeah, it's fine. It's innocent. All right. You want to cover June's deck now? Or do we got more?
I don't think we need to like talk about June's deck super much.
Okay.
I think when I looked at it, it seemed relatively standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there.
Yeah, is there any notable mentions, I should say?
Oh, Invert Existence is actually a fun card to talk about here, because this is Deep Recesses target that can like do some things sometimes. Like sometimes you look at your hand and you're like, oh, I have Invert and Deep Recesses and Banish. I can just banish like all of Gravy's allies in one turn or something.
So this is for the Gravy matchup then? Or I guess for Vi sometimes.
Yeah, Gravy and Fire are the big ones for it. Being able to just eat those is such a big deal. Or against Syndra, whenever they go activate Syndra, you eat the dagger.
So you would time it where this, as an instant, they activate Syndra, then you would activate Invert Existence.
Yeah, you go Tunic, Invert, and that like eats things alive.
Okay, and yeah, because you're on the priority chain, so you have to complete Invert first, daggers removed, Syndra, wasted resources, and you're like, fuck you, Syndra.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
Those exact words. Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I think we can talk about Oblivion too, just because it's a fun card. I want to talk about this card.
I love this card.
Well, I need to talk about it.
So sure, this is called Oblivion. All right. It's a blue pitch, 0 cost. Shadow Runeblade instant. Legendary Vynnset specialization. So you can only have 1 Oblivion into your library. Play this only if you control exactly 6 Runechants. Create a Nazareth, the Soul Horror token. Harrower.
Yeah.
All right.
Nazareth is a 6/6 that costs 0 to attack as an ally. Don't read the rest of it. Oh, it's once per turn, actually. That's relevant.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So it
I
seems
think-
pretty good. It's a free bloke that attacks.
Yeah, it's a 1 card 12. It's messed up if you get it off. One thing, too, to note about Oblivion is you have to have exactly 6 Runechants. But that's not too hard to pull off, because even if you're... Because you just have to have 6 Runechants in play at one time. And so, like, you know, if you have, like, Malefics in play, you can trigger the Malefics before the Runechants pop. So, like, let's say, you know, you have 4 Runechants out and 2 Malefics. You play an attack. You resolve the 2 Malefics. You have 6 Runechants. You play Oblivion. And then 4 Runechants, you know, go explode at the opponent's face, and you're down to 2.
Yeah. I know the biggest thing with... I didn't realize that I always thought they popped off at one time, but over time I realized, no, it's still one at a time, and once you hit 6, then you can use this. And so I was like, this is so hard to pull off, but it really wasn't. I was just being a dumbass.
Yeah,
So,
like another thing too you can do with that interaction is Funeral Moon and Cole are both, you know, shadow non-attacks that are also playable as instants. So something you can do is Unpreventable Arcane. Have your opponent take one, and then after that you play one of them as an instant, pay life again for Vynnset, and make the next one unpreventable. You know, if your opponent's at 2, that's just a sneaky way to get lethal.
Fun fact, the Sonata Galaxia is now up to $25 instead of the original $5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy. All right. So it seems like, all right, so we covered the deck, covered kind of notable mentions. We'll have June's deck list linked below because she has all the matchup guides, and we want to give her full credit, right? It is a, you know, so, and then we'll have the podcast linked below that Andrew mentioned earlier. I haven't watched it yet, but I do plan on looking at it. You know, we do want to give credit. We're not just bottom feeders. We're bottom feeders that give credit to people. So let's look at what's popular in our current meta and how does Vynnset compared to that now, because I feel like this is also a pilot skill where you can elevate Vynnset, but if you're a bad pilot, you're just going to get curb stomped a lot. Like aggro decks, ninja decks are now, like Katsu's being prevalent. You have Syndra still out there. Fi's a big one right now. There's also a lot of mid range. There's a lot of, you know, fatigue out there, like the Fatiguities is still out there, the Pleiades fatigue deck. There's also other fatigue notions. There's decks that are heavy disruption, like the Brutes currently. How does this compare to all that?
So, yeah, let's go about like one by one. So the first one, like the ninjas, pretty good for you. You're a deck that's good at blocking a good chunk of the time, and ninjas tend not to be super good at both blocking and presenting damage in a way that's relevant for Vynnset.
Oh, cool.
Let's see what else we got. The fatigue decks are actually like surprisingly decent against now that Deep Recesses of Existence exists. A big one to keep in mind is they can play Ripple Away, which pull up this card. This card is a huge pain in the backside for.
Sure. I mean, it's always been. Didn't it come in a Antiquities pack too?
Yeah, it came in the Antiquities pack, but it's originally from Heavy Hitters.
Yeah. So Ripple Away, it's a blue pitch, 2 cost, 4 power, 3 block, but you're not really using it for those abilities because really it's the instant discard this. If an action card would create 1 or more tokens this turn, instead it creates that many minus 1 of each of those tokens. So seems pretty.
All your Malefics make 0 Runechants. That's a huge deal.
And the thing is, they have to play this from hand, right? So if you're thinking that they're on the Ripple Away, then you probably want to suck them off first, right? To see their hand.
Well, the problem is, to do that, you have to attack them.
That's right. Yeah. So
and
either way.
So usually you actually side out Succumb to Temptation into fatigue decks because you're never attacking them. And they never have a hand.
So you're winning by just pure stacking until you hit 40 Runechants and you just go and blow them up?
You don't hit 40, but like, 12 is like a very realistic number to get to because you have the Runeblade incantations and the hero ability.
Okay. So Ripple Away, that's going to take a little skill to get used to, I guess.
Yeah, like Pleiades like doesn't draw this on like the go turn, or you have a Mortar Tide to get around it. Like you can actually get some pretty good turns off against them. Or if you're able to get away with like Nazareth swinging like 3 times in a row because like you cold your opponent repeatedly whenever they kept 2 cards in hand to try to kill it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's funny is like assassins, normally are really disruptive, but against Vynnset specifically, they're kind of not because all their disruption is banish based. So it's like
interesting. So the Mario matchups and all that, the dagger still hurts, but the on hit effects are not really worrisome.
Yeah, they're not like what you Yeah, like normally when you play an aggro deck into Mario, you're like, God damn it, this sucks. But when you're playing Vynnset, you're like, oh, leave no witnesses? Oh, thank God. Mario still sucks. The channel leave no witnesses says up to 1. So it's very common sometimes for the assassin player to be like, no banish. You keep that in there.
That's
Yeah,
great.
pretty funny.
Oh man. And so that's your disruption decks. Yeah, so I guess what is her bad matchups right now? Let's say if you got 2 pilots of equal skill going at it, what is the matchup she doesn't want to see?
Number 1 is Verdant.
Okay.
Because there's this card called Scour. Yeah. And, well, why don't you pull up Scour here?
I'd rather not, because that scoured me so many times. No, I got it.
Understand.
Dude, this has touched my fang so many times. Dude, every time. So, Dean, you want to read this one?
Sure. It is a blue block 3 with a cost of X. Destroy X target aura tokens and or auras with cost 0 controlled by target hero. Then deal arcane damage to that hero equal to the number of auras destroyed this way. So yeah, seems like a very easy way to just remove all those Runechants that you work so hard to put together.
Yeah, and forget the Runechants. Malefic Incantation.
Yeah.
That's the real scary part. Yeah, if they ever print an Adult Blaze, that's like relevant. Oh baby, that's a bad matchup.
Right. Okay. So Verdance, and what's the second bad matchup you think? Because I don't see a lot of Verdances around right now, but you never know. They might crop back up.
It's like a funny bad matchup is actually Marlin, because you can't block very well, and if they just repeatedly take all of your rune gates from you with like a King Shark Harpoon, or they take your Runechant generations with King Shark, sucks to be you, man.
So Marlin, because of the overpower mechanic from the can,
yeah, they can just
block very well.
Yeah, they can throw like 10 plus overpower like 3 to 4 turns in a row. And Marlin's usual downside is she's really bad at blocking while doing that. But, you know, Vynnset, if you're getting disrupted, can't really deal with it. And Vynnset in general is not super great at like blocking out the way that Marlin attacks.
Oof. Okay. And any other matchups, or is those kind of the top 2? Because I'm liking those bad matchups so far.
So like another one that's pretty bad are your sort of quote-unquote mid-rangey like disruptive decks. So these are stuff like Victor or like RKO, where what they do is disrupt you whenever you don't attack them, and then the second you start attacking them, they are just like, yeah, blocked like 13 plus damage this turn.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I can see that. Thankfully, there's really like everything you mentioned here is like not kind of top meta right now, but you might see them on the fringes.
I mean,
so you could
just had Calling day 1 finish with an RKO 7-0.
Really?
So, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no. Bro, this was surreal. Our 7-0s after day 1. RKO, Kasai, and Huntsman.
Wow.
Like, bro, these are none of the decks I expected to be at 7-0.
That's great. I mean, it's great for... That means everything's getting tossed up and still being figured out. Right? I like that a lot. Fantastic. Okay. So does Vynnset generally want long games or short games? Now, from my initial take, everything you said, short or long games, because you don't mind going long and stacking up.
I'd say about 6 turns.
Okay.
Is like generally where you want to be in a lot of matchups.
6 turns? Okay.
Yeah, it could go up to like 9, and I would go like 6 to 9. Yeah, he nice. Because that gives you time to set up your Runechant generation engine and then actually convert it into damage. If the game goes really long, you're really bad in a long game. This is not a hero who reaches second cycle. Like when you reach second cycle, you have like less than 10 cards in your deck.
Yeah, because you're not really pitching in this deck.
Yeah, you're banishing and like making Runechants.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. And so you don't want to go past your turn 6, ideally no longer than turn 9, right? That's like, so turn 0, turn 9, you should have them dead turn 9, ideally, or else you might be on the struggle bus pulling it back out to victory.
Yeah.
Okay. Does she struggle to hyper aggro? Like hyper aggro, like old Syndra or like current Phi, KO right now since he's still around?
Yeah, she will struggle into hyper aggro, but like we don't have anything that's like super duper fast right now that can do that, because they banned all the messed up cards that let you do that. But you know, in the past, for example, when like Zen existed, bad. That matchup was bad even without the Kasaya.
Gotcha. All right. So I had a whole list here about like how to learn Vynnset, but I think really you've covered a lot of good information. I don't think we really need to go into this in detail unless you want to kind of mention anything specifically.
Yeah, no.
Because it's really a lot of it is biding your time, practicing being defensive as you need to stack up, and really trying to select that moment when to strike. And knowing when that moment to strike is comes with experience of playing Vynnset. That's what it sounds like. Is that Ning? What was your experience with that as far as how you learned Vynnset?
Yeah, it was really just learning, like you said, learning how to set up and learning when go time is at the appropriate time. Obviously, I was still figuring that out. Didn't play it enough to get the best grasp on it, but I think that's part of the fun of it as well. In fairness, because I mean, if you wanted to just keep sending stuff, then might as well just play Syndra, right, and just go burr.
Yeah. Oh, cool. See, so Andrew, like I played really again like 2 card 8s, and that worked for me because it had a lot of little tricks here and there. So I felt like it was good enough for the beginning style, right? Not a lot of combos, not a lot of save, like building up time. Although Ning, as you said, with my deck, you were able to do that because you went 3-0 at army with it, bastard. Made me so jealous. Andrew, did you say skill issue? Say it loud and proud, man. I know. Wait, this is a learning journey podcast. I'm glad my mind grapes is being
Skill
squeezed.
issue podcast.
I am glad my mind grapes are getting squeezed by you two and everyone else that joins us. So, top Vynnset players. Like, I kind of want to end on this before we start wrapping up. What do top Vynnset players do differently than good Vynnset players? I wasn't a bad Vynnset player. I've done fairly well with it, but I wasn't the great, right? I feel like more time dedicated could have got me there. But what's the difference between me and you, Andrew, other than our big brains? Right? Like, what do you do differently than me?
Probably block.
Yo, shots fired. Yeah, Runechant's fired.
Usually that's what I've learned.
Sure.
Usually when I watch Will play, so like in Flesh and Blood, generally the most common mistake is not blocking, and the second common mistake is blocking.
Okay. That's
so
fair.
If you find yourself losing a lot, just block more. And then if you find that you're losing more, block less. And eventually you'll figure out how much to block.
There's a little sweet spot in there somewhere.
Andrew, I feel like if I could snip any kind of fucking advice, that would be perfect. Yeah, dude.
Like, yeah.
Man, okay. So, and Ning, what do you think, man? Do you have a take on this? Because you were piloting a Vynnset pretty well, and you weren't like really diligent on it compared to other ones, but you got the grasp of how to like maneuver with the block and the stack. And do you kind of agree with Andrew? Do you have any other thoughts?
Well, I think the other thing with Vynnset is like Andrew was saying earlier, pattern recognition, right? Of being able to cheat with your non-attack action cards to artificially create more action points so that you can extend your chain or somehow start up your Runechant engine so that the more you attack, the more that Runechants are created. And because they're created, now you can attack with another thing. And yeah, the pattern recognition, I think, is really big in Vynnset to be able to have those explosive turns.
Okay. Now, I know when I was playing Vynnset, one of the things that people could do, something I told new players, worst case, is there's certain cards that are disrupting. If you block the arcane, most likely you won't get disrupted. That's not necessarily true all the time. Like other than physical attack, but like it's just for me to warn them about to come because it's such a gotcha card. Is that still hold true? Like if you kind of block out the arcanes, or eventually something will bleed through when you stack? Because that's exactly why you stack, right, Andrew? You just build up so much that they can't do nothing.
Yeah, like something that's like fairly easy to do is just get like 2 coals and banish, and then go for like a grimoire line. And so like you can go like play like some shadow non-attack like Besiege or Shadow Puppetry. Pay 1 life to Vynnset, break grimoire, double coal your opponent, and now they only have 2 cards to block with. So their hand's probably gonna block like 6 or 7. Yeah, and like you throw 30 damage after doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does your opponent like actually quote unquote fatigue you if you do that?
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like even though you make it sound so easy, Andrew, I do think that this would take a lot of practice for. I know there's like I feel like people could take this deck and really grow into it, and I do like how June, again, I'll give her credit, provided so many good matchup guides against the decks out there. Like she kind of did all the work for you. So I don't know what this lady looks like, but dang, I should get her picture and post it up there. But I don't want to be weird, you know what I mean?
It is like on the like live stream coverage.
Okay.
Like was it Montreal?
Okay, yeah, I feel like if I'm using someone's likeness, I'd rather get their permission or email or something like that. But
you need to find the Discord for you.
Well, I'll give her a shout out. Like I think that's best, and then because the thumbnail's already made. But all right, so it's a lot. So do you think that the top players need to think 2 turns ahead? Like, do you think it's that advanced 2, 3, 4 turns ahead? Like, or just block and keep on stacking your Malefics up or your Runechant generators until you have enough, and then boom.
Yeah, like I won't say it's like thinking 2 turns ahead as much as it is just like putting yourself in a situation to succeed. This sounds like a self-help book now, actually. But
tell me more, Andrew, because I love causing self-harm. Damn, I should pick up Vynnset. She's about self-harm. Yeah. No, actually, we can't joke around about that. That's dangerous territory. Don't self-harm.
That's how you lose a position of trust.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not talking self-harm.
Bad. If you are a loved one is having suicidal thoughts, there's the hotline. Do we put the suicidal hotline in the description?
We could, but the funny story is I actually lost a good friend to suicide.
You call that a funny story?
Well, when they told me, I thought it was a bunch of my chef friends fucking with me, so I started laughing like ha ha ha, right? Because I called the guy to hang out and get some beer with me, right? I was like, because I know he was going through a hard time, right? And so I was like, hey man, I know you're going through a rough time. You just broke up with your girlfriend, man. I'm here for you. I called him because I was on the line. We were really busy that day, and so I broke around at 9:30, and that's when he was doing the deed, right? So man, it was. Anyway, so no self-harm, guys. Get help if you need it. But yeah, so joke aside, we'll leave this in because I don't cut nothing. But yeah, on a positive,
hilarious story.
Deep fast.
Yo, I was trying to pull it back, guys. That's a foot and mouth syndrome.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Counter, we were talking about in the meta. There's Phi, there's Atu, whatever. There's Vynnset. Here's your generic 2 for 6. That's a counter to those 3 that Will may need to employ. It's called Amnesia.
Oh, that's a relevant card that sucks if your opponent plays it.
Yeah. If you pull it up, Amnesia is a red block 2. No, it's a block 3.
Yeah.
That attacks for 2, costs 2, and then it says on when this hits a hero, cards and tokens that they own cannot lose and cannot gain names until the start of your next turn. So for the purposes of Vynnset, if you get hit by this, you can no longer use your Runegate cards because the Runechants are no longer called Runechants. So that really disrupts your flow. Well, fun fact tidbit for you.
I feel like Ira would be pretty good with all these 2 for 6s.
Yeah,
2 for 7. So
yeah, this is a card that Iras have had.
This Amnesia is a very meta relevant card, or meta specific, I should say.
Yeah.
But I do like how Vynnset hates on Gravy, and I hate fucking Gravy sometimes.
Oh, the matchup's not that insanely good.
Okay. Still struggle a little bit, but it's playable.
It's playable, but Chump's a dick.
Yeah, I get you. More like Chump should be called Chub. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah, he is not a friendly first mate.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks guys for recovering from me because that went really dark and really awkward fast. So I love you guys.
Hilarious all around.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. So anything else you want to add about Vynnset before we wrap this bad boy up?
No, she's just a really cool hero.
Yeah,
she's cool. She got good art.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that's the one thing that bothers me about her in general is her heavy piercing art style, which I got us, by the way, I got us kind of spiked on her spikes to the side. So that's how we're coming out with the thumbnail. Just figured that was fun. I'll show it to you, the guys in Discord. So that being said, Vynnset might not be the easiest hero in Flesh and Blood, but for players who enjoy solving puzzles mid-game, she might be one of the most rewarding. And with Compendium and Rathe, the Iron Maiden might finally have the tools to turn those shadows into real wins. But until next time, remember, every turn is a decision, every decision is a story, and don't forget your damn Tunic Counter. Peace. Alright, don't forget Katachi Fi exists. For you, Jeremy.